Hello, gamers. I'm back for real. I pulled an XJ Cloud this week. I started my stream with my mic muted. I just restarted it so that I don't have to edit the first one. But hey, that's fine. Hello, everybody. It is July 3rd, 2025. And on this past Monday, June 30th, Wizards of the Coast announced no changes to the Legacy banned and restricted list. Shortly, I will be adding my drop to the overflowing bucket of discourse regarding this change. I'm going to try to keep it somewhat brief because I have if you are a regular viewer, even a probably not even a I don't even necessarily want to say a regular viewer, there's a good chance you've heard my opinions before and nothing's going to surprise you, but I'm just going to wrap it up. And then I'm going to talk about some of the changes I've made to my list. Again, if you are a regular viewer, there is probably going to be a change here that is really standing out to you, particularly in the sideboard, and I'll explain a lot of my logic around why I'm making those changes. And then we're going to play some amount of matches. We're probably not going to play a whole league, but we will see. So, hey, Rob Job, how's it going? I love recruiting guards. But yeah, I'm just going to wait a little bit for some people to show up before we get into it. So I repeat myself as little as possible. Hope you're doing good, Rob. Oh, in the meantime, I will go ahead and I'm in the dual commander. Oops. Let's go. Oh yeah, there's a showcase this weekend. I will definitely not be playing in it, but hell yeah, dude. I was looking at it's funny you say that. Today at work, I was also looking into a Kubernetes issue. I'm pretty well. I don't want to say I'm like an expert, but like I do a lot of stuff with Kubernetes at this point, so like I know my way around it. But we've been dealing with an issue that is like very confusing to me for quite a while, and reared its ugly head yesterday, like right before the end of the business day, and it was very inconvenient. Now it's on me to go and figure out what the heck's going on, but. Oh man, after months, I would. I hate when I have to look at something for more than like a week. We were doing a really big. I don't know if you use Java, but we were doing a really big Spring upgrade for one of our apps lately. It was rough. Passed hands a couple times, but it took like 6 months to get it from beginning to end. It was rough. Thankfully, I only did like the last month-ish of it, but yeah. All right. Well, before I lose too much time, I think it's time to start my whole spiel. It will not surprise you if you have heard me talk about Legacy right now. It will not surprise you to hear that I am disappointed in the fact that there were no changes to the BNR. I think it's a huge bummer. I think it is especially really awful that we are pretty much guaranteed not to get any changes in the next banned and restricted announcement either, because it is the it's like the Monday before European Eternal Weekend. So like there's just no real shot that we're seeing any changes to the BNR um until 2026. That's a long time to be thinking about Reanimator and Oops. Um if you put me in charge um to write that ban and restricted announcement, there's kind of two levels of things that I would do. The guns blazing thing, I think they really are kind of forcing themselves to do now that they are committing to like 8 months of this current format, is ban Entomb, or like ban, let me think. Entomb both Oops creatures, Nadu the One Ring. Probably also Tameo. The more reasonable approach, I think, is ban both Oops creatures, ban Entomb or Reanimate, but I lean towards Entomb. The other thing, honestly, that like you could convince me that like the main reason that Reanimator is as good as it is isn't even necessarily that it is that strong, though I do think it is. The main problem is that Reanimator as number one and Oops as number two presents an essentially unsolvable problem for any non-blue deck to construct a sideboard that actually is good against both of them. Because with Oops, you basically have to have ley lines in your board, because Leyline and Grafdigger's Cage are basically the only cards that have text against them, because like Fairy, Macabre, and Surgical just don't do anything because of Memory's Journey. And but Leyline really sucks against Reanimator, which is where you really want Fairy, Macabres, even more Grafdigger's Cages. Grafdigger's Cage does clearly cover some ground against both. The main problem with that, obviously, is that for any non-blue deck, you have to assume that you're even getting your first turn against Oops, and then on top of that, have to assume that have to prepare for the possibility that you're just going to get belched too. So, I think that problem is just so unsolvable for most non-blue decks that like I think like it's what makes me think that like I sincerely could convince me that Reanimator is fine if we didn't have to also deal with Oops, but there is just no world where this format is okay with Oops around. um and what really bums me out about the announcement was like, you know, last BNR we got what was it? It was Troll Band, but that was obviously because Reanimator was still really good after two bans. And Myco Spawn got banned mostly based on people really hating playing against it. The numbers were not really there for Eldrazi needing a ban by any stretch. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's a great thing. I am very strongly a believer that like we are human beings playing this game ostensibly for fun. And if you are beholden strictly to win rates and play rates and like hard numbers like that, um, you are very susceptible, particularly in the state of how cards are designed today, to end up with a format that is mathematically balanced and really not fun to play. Um, and I don't even really think that this format is mathematically balanced, but it like it's like relatively close to that. Um, but it just kind of sucks because like it's so combo heavy, and it really feels like the only way to beat a lot of the other combo decks is just to be a combo deck, or it's a play a tempo deck. Um, and it sucks. It really sucks. I don't know if I'm going to Eternal Weekend anymore. I am sincerely considering canceling my plans to go. It's still up in the air, but we will see what happens. And yeah, I don't know. It's fun. Like There's so many people, I think, who, like, don't care about the fact that there's no changes, and, like, I respect that to a certain extent, but I think, like, it's really too easy just to dismiss people's being upset about it as just, like, needless complaining when, like, I don't know. A thing I hear a lot certainly is like, "Oh, I don't play against oops in my paper meta, so, like, why does it matter?" And I was like, "I don't know." First of all, in that world, if we ban oops, it's like no effect to you, so why do you care? But, like, I think the more relatable way that I have been thinking about it is like, yeah, I think Legacy is actually pretty fun when oops isn't around, and I just wanna be having as much fun as you do, you know? Yeah, and that's the thing, like, the the it feels like an announcement article written by a totally different team, even though they are at least Carmen's name is on both. Obviously, she's not the only person responsible for this by any means. But yeah, like I feel like sentiment about Oops needing to go was like even stronger than when Myco Spawn needed to go. So the idea that they took action before and then didn't this time was just like so shocking to me. Um, and it sucks because I really liked Carmen's article from last time. It gave me a lot of faith that the format curation was going to be like taken really seriously from a gameplay perspective. And that it sucks that that faith feels like it was just shattered right away. Um, so I don't know. It really bums me out. As you can see here, I still have the deck in front of me. I'm still going to be playing long term throughout this year. That might need to change. We're just going to have to see what happens. Maybe like I don't want to immediately say, "Hey, I'm not playing Legacy for X number of months." I don't know. Hell, I'm going to a paper tournament next weekend. Like still I'm still invested to some extent, but like without Eternal Weekends likely without Eternal Weekend on my horizon for this year, there is going to be like kind of a lack of a driving force to counter what is likely to be relatively unfulfilling gameplay. Although I will allow these leagues to say otherwise to me. We'll see. I think more or less that is my spiel regarding the BNR itself. Now, let's look at the changes I have made to the list since the last time I was playing. You'll probably notice a pretty huge a card that's missing in the sideboard, and that's Leyline. Um, I basically changed my board to more or less pretend that oops, all spells doesn't exist. There's a couple different reasons for that. One, the symbolic part of it. I just want to pretend like we got what we should have gotten. Two, um, a bit of stubbornness in respect to that, honestly. And the third thing is, I realized like I have not actually played against Oops in quite a while, and I find myself really struggling. I don't want to say struggling. It sucks how many times where my graveyard hate is Leyline, and it is really bad, even though I need some graveyard interaction. That's happened with lands so many times because of how often I've been playing against it lately. So I decided to just forego Leyline for other graveyard hate that's going to be better against Reanimator, certainly. Um, Also helping against lands, which is one of the other decks that's been showing up a bit. Um, and just accept that if I get oopsed, I get oopsed. This is also going to be a bit of an experiment to see if I get paired against oops, because again, I haven't in a while, although certainly it's much more likely to happen now that it's still legal. Um, we can kind of consider this to be me taking a taking a page out of Yoshiwada's book, because like he hasn't been playing Leyline for a very long time. And I have no idea if it's like he's no idea if he's even playing against it in like the challenges that he's top eighting. No idea if like he is and the hate actually like stacks up well enough when you have enough of it. No idea, but we're gonna try it out. Um, the only other change I made to my list was cutting one containment priest here for the fourth bowmasters. Um, Mostly because I want to account for the fact that like I only have one containment priest right now in paper, so like I want to like I don't want to put myself in a situation where like I need to find like two more if I want to play a list like this next weekend. We'll have to see. Um, so so we will see. Other things that are kind of on my mind are like Cabal Therapy is my pet card. I'm probably not going to cut it, but like I do want to think really hard about whether something like Cabal Therapy could be better as something else, focusing on like something that would be better against Reanimator without losing too much in the other fair matchups. Notably, Cabal Therapy also, since there's not nearly as many like stock up decks, not as much show and tell stuff like that. Therapy has definitely lost a little bit of value since those decks have pretty heavily fallen out of favor. But you know, I still like it against like Breakfast. It is kind of good against Oops, not really, but like kind of. So yeah, we'll see. I think that's everything that's going on in my life right now. I hope it all works out. So the exact four cards that Leyline got cut for are these: the two Fairy Macabres, one Surgical, one Ghost Vacuum. This is kind of at random. I could see it going a couple different ways. I was kind of between this Ghost Vacuum as like either third Cage or second Surgical also. I think there's a couple different ways that it could go, but we're going to start with this and we'll see what happens. And I think that's everything. And yeah, we're going to start a league. We're probably not going to get through all 5 matches, depending on what we get paired against, but we will see. Well, we got Thoughtseize Therapy on the play, so can't lose. Interesting. It's weird because like I care so much more about taking the stock up, but they can just cast Emery next turn. So like, and at that point, my Cabal Therapy is just going to be blinds. Whereas if I take the Emery, I think it would surprise me if they just go Ancient Tomb Petal stock up. But I think I really just don't want them to be able to do that, so I'm just gonna take the stock up. Oh, that leaves up Odawara. Yeah, okay. So they can definitely cast a Thought Cast here if they had it. I feel like the most likely thing they drew is maybe Force of Will. I'm just gonna cast Stoneforge. Did we need to kill Emery there over Stoneforge? Oh, is this Metallic Rebuke? Is that what's going on here? I maybe didn't have to. I'm just gonna get Cauldron here, I think. Yeah, I guess I probably didn't have to, but yeah, I guess the only real punish would be like if they what's it called? If they like found another Emery or something like that. Okay, so they still have Otawara in their hands. Okay, I guess I'm just passing. All right, there's a lot of stuff this therapy could hit now. Oh, especially now that they're bobbling, so that's cool. They play another Ancient Team. Okay. I'm going to fetch so they don't know what I'm drawing. What am I naming here? I think I'm just going to name... Do I care about Force of Will? I don't think that I care about Force of Will, but I think it's actually just one of the cards it's more likely for them to have. So let's start with that. Yes. And that is why I just will never cut Cabal Therapy anymore. Oh, man. Oh, no. Goodbye, Cabal Therapy. Yep. Yeah, this stupid thing. What is this? It makes a 1/1. It's a wizard. Whenever you recast a non-creature spell, and whenever you draw your third card each turn. Okay. And they're Otawaring my germ now. Okay. I actually don't mind drawing a land here. Well, that's also great. I'm not really sure how much it matters to Solitude that, but I don't think there's great reason not to. Okay, One Ring sucks. Just need any land lets me recruit for Skyclave. Other option here is recruit for Bowmaster. I think I am going to recruit for Bowmaster here. They're going to be at 11. Yeah, they have 2 ancient tombs right now too. Yeah, let's go for Bowmaster. I guess I could have pinged my Solitude instead. Oh well. All right, cool. They drew garbage. I'll take it. I think our boarding is going to look something like this. I don't think this is a matchup where I care about Containment Priest. Hyper Bunch is like okay. I probably just want to Cathalias though. I think Tameo is more bannable than Nadu. Or let me. I think that Nadu. This is what I would say. I think Tameo is a card that's much more reasonable in a world where there aren't as many power level outliers as there are right now. Though it does have the problem of just being a blue card that can slot into everything, and I think that is kind of where it might risk just being too good. Like, hopefully that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling a bit, but I think there's. It is. This is minimizing it. At least Tameo is a creature you can 1-for-1 and is kind of bad sometimes. I think I'm gonna keep this Flute for Ring, Karakas for Emery. Yeah, we'll try this. It's a little weak to Saga. Yeah, of course. Thoughtcast, okay. Don't get me wrong, that like Tameo should not start with 4 loyalty. Yikes. I don't think I want to take the 1 ring because I have the Disruptor Flute, but taking one of the 2 stock ups also doesn't feel like the best thing ever. I guess at least like right now they would need to use a Lotus Petal to cast it. They're like really restricted on their mana right now, so I almost wonder if I take a Lotus Petal, but I think the long-term prospect of like letting them have this much card advantage isn't great. So I think I just want to take stock up. Okay. Yeah, I guess the worst case is like if they draw an Ancient Tomb. Actually, if they draw an Ancient Tomb, they still can't even cast the 1 ring. So actually, yeah, I do like taking Petal. I'm on Petal. I'm not sure they wanted to crack. Hell yeah, Rob Job, thank you. Also, thank you, Pepperjack, for the resub. Sorry, I was in the tank there for a second. Thank you all so much. Okay, so they just never are going to have mana. It's kind of what it's looking like. So next turn they could float mana, get a Lotus Petal, and then cast a One Ring if they wanted to. I think I am just gonna hold up Disruptor Flute here then, see if they do that. It's a little bit tempting to just Solitude the Painter Servant right now, but I don't really like pitching us another Solitude. If I had like a worse white card, I think I would. Yeah, I think I just let them activate first. The only problem with letting them activate first, or if they don't, if they just pass the turn, then it looks a little iffy. But we'll see. I guess if they're not attacking, then I don't really care that much either, right? Whoops. It's One Ring and Lava Spur Boots is in there. I'm just going to pass. If I wasn't going to draw a card to pitch, getting the Therapy there is probably pretty high up on the list of other things I would like to do. All right, yeah, cool. Mill some lands, yeah, sure. So they get what, like a Lotus Petal here, and if they draw lands, they can cast the One Ring, but then I flute it. Next turn, I get to play Emperor Bones and put the Solitude under it, so I don't even die to Painter Servant off the top. Oh, they just cast the Boots from their hand. Okay, cool. I'm going to hold the Flute in my hand still. Hopefully I draw an untapped lands. That would be kind of cool. Nice. Oh, it is suddenly raining like crazy. I will get Solitude under here. And my opponent's over it. Sick. Yeah, taking the Lotus Petal definitely paid off. I think my concern was like if they just draw an Ancient Tomb, it's really bad. But actually, if they drew an Ancient Tomb, it basically didn't matter. So, last scene playing lands, huh? Well, this hand sucks eggs against lands, but we'll see. I don't like to believe MTG bot too religiously, so. All right, it is in fact lands. It's all right. Okay. Well, his Thoughtseize is not feeling great, but we'll see. Maybe they got like a crop rotation over there or something. Hell yeah. Other than the fact that these constructs are potentially going to be like 6/6s, this kind of looks doable. I just also need to draw another land. I feel like they probably want to get their needle here. Maybe they have a land in hand and want to get a Mox Diamonds to equip boots, but it feels worse than putting like some kind of interaction into play. I don't know. I'm thinking about it hard. I think the options I think are just Mox Diamond and a Pithing Needle. I guess these lists I think usually play like a one Grafdigger's Cage to get off of it, but they're obviously not going to get that here. So unless they are that terrified of my formal wares, which I mean, I would be. Okay. Yeah. Blind Pithing Needle on Stoneforge, maybe? Maybe Caracas if they want to play towards Marilage at some point. So I'm probably going to pitch... I'm probably going to Solitude this construct. Stoneforge, yeah, okay. Okay, they had Bog in hands. Cool. So they are not equipping this turn, which means I get to think about this. Can I draw a white source? Hell yeah, I can. I think I just want to Skyclave the Expedition map here. I think this is the first time I've ever gotten to Skyclave an Expedition map, and it's pretty sick. So if they had gone for boots on the construct, I was going to Solitude it. I wasn't sure if I was going to pitch a Thalia or a Skyclave, because I would really like to pitch a Thalia, but obviously I didn't know if I was going to be able to cast my Skyclaves, which made that a little iffy. But then I drew Caracas, so we're good. I don't know why they didn't equip boots there. Yeah, okay. Wastelands, okay, that's a bummer. Nice. That was actually perfect. Just Skyclave the boots. I can then potentially double block the construct. Then I don't even need to Solitude it. Don't have to worry about any hasty Merit Lages later. So I think I'm going to attack, let them block. I'll Skyclave their Mox Diamond, probably. Maybe Needle. I'll go for Mox Diamond. I don't even know if I'm going to... I don't know if I even have a Stoneforge, you know. It's also a 0 for blocking. Could matter. Okay. Can I get a Lauren? That'd be nice. Lauren Wastelands. Nope. What's in their hand? It could just be a land. They have made a land drop every turn. I think I'm just going to put Yorion in my hand and pass here. Yeah, it could be Beseiju. Yep. Yep. I want a 5th land, but I don't know if I want it enough here. I think I need other stuff more. Like that. That's pretty good, huh? I can't... I have to kill the... This doesn't deal with the stage saga yet, but we'll get there. Oh, they just have crop rotation. Oh, please go for... Yes, please go for depths. Oh my god, yes. Yes, please. Please make a Merit Lage. I'm begging you. If you have the 3rd crop rotation, then good for you. Hell yeah. Annoying. All right, it'll be a while before we get to cast a spell again. No. I think it's fine though, because I'm just gonna get Lion Sash. Annoying. I just want to draw a land here. Bad start. Maybe, or no, right, I couldn't get Cauldron because the needle's on Stoneforge. Never mind. No, the Dark Depths, Scott. You got it. So that should be all of their Saga tutor targets other than Mox Diamonds. So I'm going to get Urza Saga out of there, I guess. Okay, cool. So they can make a 3/3 construct, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so my Sash can safely attack. They double block, I can pump it up 3. Fine by me. Yeah, I'm just gonna hold a mana. I'm just gonna chump this with the Stoneforge, I think. If they even attack. I think they gotta attack, but looks like there's a chance they weren't gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna chump with Stoneforge. And now we get to go to town. Forcing the Eats to draw loam. Yeah, that's possible. I think it's reasonable in their spot to feel like maybe you can get there with the current state of the board. Like the 2 constructs are pretty big, but my Sash is definitely bigger. Now that's a good one. I just Yorion and they like lose on the spot, basically. I will start by attacking with the Sash. I give them a 1/1 here, but I think it's actually valuable to get the cage out of here in case I draw my in case I draw my formal wear. Skyclave this, Skyclave this, Witch Enchanter that. They have, yes, yeah, if they draw like literal, if they draw stage right now, I guess they could, since they have Yavimaya in play, they could also draw crop rotation. So that is, it's annoying timing for that draw, but I took out all the lands I cared about. So they can like waste my wasteland if they want to. Okay, Exploration is also, I guess I'm surprised they hadn't already played that, but I forget the exact sequence of all of this, so. I am just going to exile this loam right now. And then think, I think it's probably just an easy attack with Sash and Yorion. Sure. I think I'm actually, I think I'm happy to cast Thalia here. I guess I could swing all the double block, basically doesn't matter. Yeah. So the last card in hand is another Dark Depths. I would love a Recruiter. It might have been lethal if I had attacked all last turn, because I could have moved Sash over to the Yorion this turn for basically plus 5-ish damage. So, okay, they can make a Merit Lage. Is that enough here? No, because they can block. Yeah, that's nowhere close to enough, actually. They just block my Sash and then take like 12. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, let's bring in flutes. Let's bring this Ghost Vacuum. We get to bring in some graveyard hate I don't actually hate. And then some other stuff too. Let's get rid of these Thalias. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring in the Fairy Macabres, but I definitely like everything else that's there. Don't want therapies. That's pretty clean. Let me make sure I'm not missing something. Oh, Containment Priest. It kind of works out, huh? Oh, I probably want Thalia over a Phantom Blade. Yeah. We could even bring in a Yorion Chylith. You are so right. Sand has cards that I really like in the matchup, but I need them to have other things. I think if I was on the play, I would keep this, but I think this might just lose to too much. I'm going to try it, though. I'm curious. I'm curious if I can get an Aether Vial. In like the past 5 matches against lands, I have never once activated an Aether Vial. It has just gotten fluted or besaged like on the spot. So, okay, that Wasteland draw is perfect, and also them going basic Forest Pass is also very good. Yeah, so I'm thinking Thalia over Blade because like Phantom Blade is okay against Urza Saga tokens, but that's about it. I'm basically always going to get something else with Stoneforge. And Thalia is honestly like pretty valuable just as look, I knew it. It as a white card for Solitude sometimes. Also, this build of lands tends to get itself into pretty vulnerable situations regarding its mana in a way that the older versions of lands did not as much. So yeah, literally every file I have ever played against lands with these builds has been like fluted or besaged immediately, or like saga'd for a pithing needle. And I think I've put like maybe one creature into play. Well, unfortunately, if I could vial in this sash, it would be sick, but I just have to play it instead. They don't dredge. Does that mean they have a besage you for the sash? Yes. All right, let's surveil. Oh, I will keep that. No answer for the loam here. Kind of sucks. I could Witch Enchanter the flute and then for Witch Enchanter the flute, I can then wisp the Witch Enchanter, kill the saga. Is that worth it when I have this? I think it probably is worth it because I really would like to flute stage more so than I want to flute saga. Yeah, let's go for this. Also, just like put some pressure on them when they have a pretty dirtily start. So like if they just loam, if they just dredge back loam and then loam for saga again and then play it again, and I'm attacking them for 5 and then then flute the saga, they're like in a pretty bad spot there. And if this gets a crop rotation out of their hand, I'm also perfectly happy with that. It's the kind of crop rotation that's really not killing me. I much prefer the defense. I much prefer when my land's opponents are casting crop rotation defensively. Especially because right now they can't make a construct and dredge back loam and cast it, so. Crocus, yeah, sure. Yeah, we're just gonna go up to 5 here. Well, yeah, so I'm gonna Stone Forge for Sash, or for Formal Wear. hold up Flute. Next turn we get to Yorion away. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna let them make 2. Yeah, am I making? I'm definitely making them letting them make this token. Maybe I want a Flute Saga now. Yeah, I'll Flute Saga now. I'm not sure if I'm using this flute right, but it at least is making them have to do something else than like just make another construct, get a land, loam back or dredge back the loam, get both sagas, play one. They have to do something else with their life, whatever they want to. If they choose, I should have fetched here. They could get Needle. If they get Needle, they're almost certainly naming Vile, though. If they name Marsh Floods, that's on them. So I assume there's going to be Needle on Vile, and next turn we'll probably... yeah. So this upcoming turn, we can buy Yorion and hold up Form Aware Sash. I guess not even necessarily hold it up. We're probably just going to get the loam out of their hand right away, huh? Or loam out of their yard, I should say. They find a Dark Depths, okay. So they have Dark Depths, loam, some other cards in their hand right now. If Flute hit triggered abilities, that'd be pretty cool. That would actually be sick. I could use Flute. I could actually use Flute much more effectively against Thassa's Oracle. I'm all for it, actually. Okay, so their hand is Depths, Saga, Boseiju, 2 other cards. There's one of the Sagas gone. I don't think I want another land here. It doesn't really change my options because I already have another land in my hands. Skyclave or Lorne off the top would probably just be like game. No, another Stoneforge. Could get a Cauldron, attack for 8. I think that is probably too risky compared to getting the Sash back now. Just to be safe. It is pretty tempting, though. Yeah, so I'm buying Yorion here. Next turn, it's pretty lights out. They got to do something big here. I mean, they actually pretty much have to Boseiju my Vile if they don't want to just... Like, if they don't Boseiju my Vile, I go from winning the game to destroying them. So we'll see what they do. What you doing, opponent? I'm getting the sense they're activating Boseiju, but they don't know what they need to kill. Yeah, what do they hit? They hit the Sash. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to get it back next turn. Okay. So the only card we know in their hand now is another Saga. Found another Loam. Okay, got it. So they now have Saga Boseiju in their hands. And they are, like, totally cooked. Oh, I forgot to attack. Oh, well. Oops. All right, let's Witch Enchanter the Aether Vial, Flicker Wisp the Construct Token, Formal Wear back the Lion Sash, get a Cauldra. Let's eat their loam before I forget. And if they do literally anything to me, I bounce Yorion and do it again. I think it would be cooler if Yorion was a dragon. That would be cool, but alas. Yeah, can we just keep adding creature types? Actually, thinking back to the previous comment about flute hitting triggered abilities, that kind of reminds me of, like, it's like a what the. Okay, Moto, I guess you don't want me to hold priority. Okay, I did my best. I was definitely holding control and shift there, but okay. Anyway, the comment about my opponent they forgot to actually create a construct there, so that didn't actually get them anything. Oh my god, words. Flute stopping triggered abilities reminds me of a new hate bear design that I think we fantasized about in some D&T chats, which is just like a white 2/2. You name a card and you like humility it, basically. White is very important, so other decks can't splash it. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if it was just like remove the abilities. You don't have to make it a 1/1. But I think white name a card, it loses all abilities would be like pretty reasonable by today's standards. In this theoretical design, it's any card. So it would be like maybe it is like the cards with that name that your opponent controlled lose all abilities. So you don't, if you wanted to, you could add on to it. If it's a creature, it's a 1/1 or whatever. I will try this. I'm gonna get one of these tap lanes out of the way now. I don't think I want another land right now. Okay. I'm gonna go for Phantom Blade here, I think. Let's force him to deal with my Stoneforge. Look, I mean, I'll be really upset about it, but if it exists and I can use it, it's a cost I might pay. Which I'm really upset to say, but yeah, you got it. Okay. Oh, sure. Okay. What do I want to do here? I think I'm just gonna play Caracas and pass, and whatever happens after that is gonna kind of be dependent on like where it is that they blink, because there's some spots where I could like Stoneforge and the Phantom Blade kill the Esper Sentinel. I have a Plow up. I have the Caracas up to bounce the Ajani. They can wasteland it. They probably will, but like I'll force them to do that before I like commit my mana into anything. Interesting. So if I block Ajani and put the Phantom Blade in to kill the Esper Sentinel, what's the blowouts? If they vial in another Ajani, they kill that one, bounce the one they have. That forces them to waste my Caracas, but at that point I can float a white and I can plow that Ajani before it flips. Actually, that's a lie. I can't do. I guess I can. They would just draw a card off the Esper Sentinel. I think that's a good way to keep this from getting too complicated, though, to be totally honest. Okay. Deal. Yep. All right. I'm going to Thoughtseize them here. Yeah, sure. I am so happy to Thoughtseize your Cauldron. I am so confused you even searched for it. Yeah, I don't give a shit about any of that other stuff. um I don't want that. Do I want to plow something now? I'll just, this is the biggest clock, and yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of this. I don't really need to kill it outside of mana efficiency. That's the main reason to even use the spell there. So okay. Yep. Resolves. Voice of Victory. Yep, you got it. Nice. They don't even go for an attack. Hell yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep removing stuff. Now I get the Vial, and they can't even cast their Bowmaster, but I'm not even sure if that's better than just continuing to get threats off the board. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going for threats. I guess the biggest argument for taking the Vial instead is I have the Solitude here to kill that, but I think they've mostly already failed to like get past my ability to stabilize, so I'm just going to Solitude them this turn, buy Yorion, everything, and then the game's pretty much over. So yep. Yeah, cool. They're over it. I would be too if I was them. Let's bring in some removal, and I probably want another Containment Priest, given that they're a Vile deck. Cut some therapies. Probably don't want Sash here. What else? Oh, right. Thalias. I don't think Thalias are actually that bad here. They are just kind of a tiny creature. I think it's better than it would be just because like all of their creatures are tiny and they don't really have a way to force through a bunch of damage. So first strike is actually pretty good. Yeah. I think it's pretty good. I would like it to have like one more action spell on the draw, but Thoughtseize is a good start. Especially into Aether Vial. That helps a little bit. It's a bunch of Ant Raptors, huh? I think I just want to take the Ant Raptors because they're 2-for-1s. In a way that like Ajani kind of looks like a 2-for-1, but also isn't really. They find an Ocelot Pride. Good for them. Damn, they're first striking too. I think I probably need to cast Stoneforge here, actually, and keep Thalia as a potential pitch card. Yeah. I think this is another Phantom Blade moment. Yeah, it is. I'm a little surprised they cast that over casting the Voice of Victory. Because now I can just do this. I guess this is bad if they drew us another Ajani, but like, I think I'm supposed to go for this. If they drew another Ajani, they got me. Good for them. They outplayed me here if they did it. Oh, yeah, I don't care about that. I mean, it's annoying, but like, I'll live with it. Wrath of the Skies? No. That's not bad, though. Yep. How about Wrath of the Skies now? No. That's not... Once again, not that bad, though. It's a very welcome formal wear. God, Jax. Oh, all right. Well, maybe I'm just dead. Yeah. Okay. Well, we got aggroed. Man, Wrath of the Skies would have been sick there. They couldn't even vial in their Stoneforge. We'll try it. 2 Thalias is like 1 more Thalia than I want, but at least it's easy to trade them off, I guess. Yo, Vial on turn 1 every game? Hello? Are they playing 60 cards or something? Ocelot Pride. Might plow that. We'll see. I think I won't this turn. Now I probably do for mana efficiency. Oh, right. I have to put the shields down on my Caracas. I'm good. It resolves. I guess to be clear, I have to put shields down on my Caracas, or I can't surveil here, and I would really like to surveil. So I do want another land, so that works. What you got? You got a Stoneforge? No Johnny. Okay. I mean, this Aether Vial they keep drawing is pretty annoying. Yep, that resolves. We found another Ajani, huh? That's pretty brutal. I guess I'm using my other plow. I am going to just trade off with this Ocelot Pride while I still can. You really have another Ajani. Is this finally the moment where you have? No. Okay. It's just, again, I keep thinking it's the second Ajani and it's always Bowmasters. Wrath of the Skies, please. Can I draw my good card ever? Apparently not. Emperor of Bones, Ajani gets me a 2/1 and a 4/4 to block with, which is pretty bad. Might be the best thing I can do, though. Hit my Caracas. Please hit my Caracas. Fuck. It's kind of... Why would they hit the Shadowy Backstreet? Static Prison. Okay, I'm going to say it again. Wrath of the Skies. I just got to block some amount of damage here. Where are my Bowmasters? I feel like I've just really drawn the wrong cards to interact with my opponent, and they keep drawing Aether Vial on turn 1. Third Caracas, perfect. Yeah, I don't know. I drew like 5 Thalias, no Bowmasters. No Skyclaves when Skyclaves. I guess I drew like 1 Skyclave, right? And in the game that I won, what do you know? Kind of mopey. It's kind of vile though. We can always surveil our way to victory, right? Just be playing something where Caracas is interaction. Vault of Whispers, huh? Could be Gamble Storm. Or not Gamble Storm, Echo Storm. Let's draw Thalia. I did my best. They're thinking, which means I might be dead, but also I'm not obviously dead, so. I always gotta look on the bright side of life sometimes. Always gotta look on the bright side of life sometimes. I'm out of it. Pretend I said nothing. Another Vault of Whispers, okay. And they're passing. So we're not obviously dead. I mean, it's not like the most exciting thing ever, but if they can't kill me off of 2 Vaulted Whispers, this might be better than a random card. I can also cast this Wisp to get a clock into play while doing it, which is pretty nice. This is riveting stuff. Uh-oh. Have things changed? Duress. Yep. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Is this a Beseech? Not yet. Another. Okay. This is probably a Beseech then, right? Seems like a pretty trivial Beseech kill. No, they're playing Infernal Tutor. So they can't actually kill off of Beseech here, can they? They have to go for... Oh, right, no, right. They just have to go Beseech. Yeah, they can't kill through Gaia's Will, but they just chain Beseeches into the tendrils, yeah. If only I was at 19. I had an option to not fetch one of those times. We're gonna do something like maybe this. Fairy Macabres are probably more likely to have text than something like Containment Priest or the Emperor, if I had to guess. This looks about right. I'm kind of guessing at the cards that are in their deck, but I think this looks about right. I guess I probably want Emperor over the last Solitude, right? Oh, Ghost Vacuum's here also. Probably want that over one of the Emperors. Sure, that looks good enough. Something so maybe we were dead if we don't bluff. Yeah. This hand's got a lot going for it. I'm just gonna start with Therapy on Ritual, I think. Would rather have Thoughtseize here, certainly, but sometimes you gotta play the hand you're dealt, you know. Oh, whoa, okay. Got it. Jesus. Well, I would never have named Lotus Petal, though if I did, they lost on the spot. Yeah, it's usually between LED and Dark Ritual. I like leaning towards Dark Ritual because it usually requires their hands with Dark Ritual usually need less help. Okay, very happy to see them just play out the petals because I could flashback Therapy and then pass. That's really good for me. They have Feed the Swarm here for my Thalia, unfortunately, but they have to use 2 Lotus Petals right now to cast it, and then I have another one, so what's the last card in their hands? It's an instant, apparently. Hell yeah, it's Potemkin's theme. Look, I get it. I don't like playing against Potemkin either, but you gonna tell me that Armorclad Faith isn't a banger? I have 3. I think I have 3 Strive character themes on this playlist. I have Potemkin, Giovanna, and Ramlethal. They have a Fatal Push. Okay. Ramlethal is my favorite on the soundtrack by far. It's such a sick prog banger. The new, I haven't played Strive in a while, but the latest Guilty Gear is really good. Probably getting towards the end of its support. I don't know for sure what Arc System Works plans are, but it's on like season 4, I think, of characters. T. That felt good. I love every time Wrath of the Skies just completely destroys a artifact mana player. The 4th Lotus Petal has been found. Ghost Vacuum should be allowed to copy non-creature permanents as 1/1s. That would be pretty fun, huh? Just get a 1/1 Lotus Petal. Why not? Lotus Petal can be haunted too. Friend, please pass priority. Oh my god. They're taking so long to lose. Okay, I did not need the 3rd Thalia. Although I may actually use it here to take the Infernal Tutor out of their hands. I respect that to a certain extent, but like that hand literally couldn't cast a spell. They clearly just like were not looking and then could have just passed priority. They can just be F6ing right now. Neat. resolves. I did miss vacuum blink value. You're so right. Let's cast this Stoneforge and see if I forgot to take Phantom Blade out of my deck. I legitimately don't remember. No, I did not forget. Okay, cool. It's also worth noting, the Kaiser's already been exiled. I'm not sure their graveyard matters anymore. At least not in the sense that, like, I don't think me exiling random cards out of their deck really matters. All right, cool. Okay. I guess in a world where they successfully echo of eons, that's not necessarily true, but right, Cabal Ritual. We did see Cabal Ritual, you're right. There are so many 2-mana creatures with 2 toughness I want WotC to try to print. Something like Deafening Silence, something Rest in Peace, the Humility creature that I was talking about earlier. Just whatever you do, make them all white. Don't let other decks play them. Hybrid green-white 1-mana Thalias, you know? You could talk me into it. I mean, yeah. There's like 3 cards in my deck that there's like 3 total cards that matter on turn 0, and this is the best card I can play on turn 1. So, and this is the best card I can play on turn 2. So, and my opponent's mulling to 6, so this is a good sign. Okay, they keep 6. Damn it. Okay, I'd rather be Thought Seized than Dark Ritualed, so take my Deafening Silence. can't play land second main if you didn't attack. Hell yeah. All right, what do we name this time? So I think it's Dark Ritual. It could be Beseech, but I think I'm still just naming Dark Ritual. No. Whiff again. They have a very fair looking hand, though. Somewhat of a good sign. I can't fully deal with this Urza Saga yet. Drawing another Recruiter wasn't really what I was after, but yeah, apparently. If I just name Petal, I just win, apparently. If only we played Stony Silence. All right, cool. That'll let me surveil off this potentially still. Should have fetched Scrub for Wrath of the Skies. Yeah, probably should have. It's tough because like I love the surveil value especially in a matchup like this where the first couple draw steps you get are so important. But at the same time, I get that sometimes you just need to draw like a god. This is a fatal push on the Thalia, maybe. Oh, there's floating mana. Okay. I'm telling you, it's just like the nature of a lot of these weird, like both explosive but also kind of clunky storm decks is that like they play out their artifact mana so much. And it's like sometimes shocking how often Wrath of the Skies gets a hit. So I'm gonna like Recruiter for a Lauren to kill the Wishclaw Talisman, and I'm pretty sure that I'm flashing back Therapy here. I just don't know what I'm naming. I think I'm gonna name Beseech on this one. Hell yeah, get fucking, I'm so good. That's making up for the 2 missed therapies earlier in this match. I'm sorry, Romario. I will not stop bullying them. I can no longer Lauren pedal, but nice thought. Is this... Wait, they can't even... Yeah, okay. I was going to say. All right, we're going to finish it up. I wasn't sure if I was going to finish, but the rest of the matches have gone fast enough that we're just going to get it out there. But yeah, you probably are right that we Lauren the Petal first, especially because we have Caracas, so we can just Lauren the Wish Claw the next turn. Oops. It's my mixer. Don't look. All right, Moto, don't make me regret trying to play this last one. Get me an enemy. Let's go. There we go. This will work. I'm trying a lot of Thalias today. Ah, got it. Am I thought seizing or wastelanding first? I think I have to thought seize first. And this hand shows exactly why I had to thought seize first. I was like, if they go 2 monolith 1 ring, I'm going to feel really stupid that I didn't thought seize. Mm-hmm. Fuck off. Anyway. You see, if you play Karn, the Great Creator, and you -2 it, you need to look in your sideboard. It's really complicated. Yeah, I'll take this one. Oh, fuck this card. I have not played against Ugin yet, and I'm not looking forward to it. Is this literally just another hand that turn one, like, turn one coatings my land? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this literally is another hand that turn one coatings my fucking lands. This deck is so stupid. I was maybe supposed to go for Grim Monolith there, actually, but yikes. So my plan here is I'm going to make them spend all their mana, putting Petal Monolith into play. And so they're going to go 1, 2, 3, cast Monolith. They can tap Monolith. So it's 1, 2, 3. They go to 1, cast Monolith. They can go up to 4 to 5, and then they can use the key to untap the Monolith. I think so. At the point that they use the key to untap the Monolith, I will flute the Ugin, I think is where I'm at. Just at least like make them go through the motions of trying to cast Ugin. I think I should have taken the Monolith. It's fine. We're just going to draw Wrath guys again. We keep drawing Wrath guys when it's really good, so. Wow, they named Wasteland. That's fucked up. They can't do it next turn since they tap the monolith, right? They would be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they only have 6 mana right now. I'm not sure that they were supposed to tap their monolith, but. Fluting Key, yeah, maybe. I don't know if you can tell. I check out against this deck, but. Actually, Fluting Key isn't that great though because they're about to. They can just get the other. They're about to get a Manifold Key. So like it's a. I guess it's a lot of mana, but 1, 2, 3, yeah. Oh, they just drew another key off top. Okay, got it. They are still no. Right. They didn't play a land yet. All right, I'm over it. Just do not care. Yeah, I think I definitely could have made different decisions there, but also, as soon as I saw the Ugin, my brain just checked out because it's quite possibly one of the most offensive cards to me in recent history, and that's saying a lot given that Sowing Mycospawn was recently legal. First time I've seen it in play. Hopefully the last, but I know that it won't be. Well, we didn't play against Reanimator or Oops again. That's kind of been common for me lately, which is unfortunately not very helpful, but alas. So we didn't really get to test out any of this, but you played Oops 4 times last league. Well, thanks for taking the aggro, I guess. Well, anyway, that is going to be it for me tonight. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. If you are new to the stream, hell yeah, give me a follow here on YouTube, on Blue Sky, etc. If you missed any of this VOD, it'll be up on YouTube overnight. I will be back on Sunday at 8:30 as well. I stream every Thursday and Sunday at 8:30, streaming some form of Death and Taxes. Also, tomorrow, right, Mike, is when the episode goes up. I just recently recorded with the Legacy Small Talk podcast. I believe that episode is going up on Friday, if I remember right. So it should be going up tomorrow, where we talk about the BNR announcement, and also talk about StarCraft a bit. So hell yeah, thank you, Mario. So yeah, follow them on Blue Sky to get the notification for that. I will also be reposting it, obviously. You're uploading it right now. Nice. Hell yeah. So yeah, you can it was a pleasure. It was really fun recording with you guys. So please go listen to it. It was a really good time. But that's gonna be it for me. I need to get to bed. Is anybody around to raid? I know Harain probably isn't because he was streaming earlier today. But hey, Shallowgrave is up. Let's go. All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Hope you have a good evening. And I will see you all next time. I said that too early. I have to wait like a